Hello and welcome to the first episode of whatever this is, or whatever this is potentially going to be. I was just so jazzed right now. I felt so elevated that I felt like sharing. And there's a lot of parts to this, right? But it started, it's hard to say it started there. But I guess if I would have to choose a point of departure for the story or for a bunch of things I'm about to tell you, it would be this. I haven't had an internet crush in probably over 10 years. And, excuse me, I'm a little. I was just cutting my own voice off. So, I found out today that the head guy exists. And if you don't know who the head guy is, I don't know his name. I didn't get this obsessed. I just watched like a few videos, but I cannot wait to just binge on everything else. Oh, he's incredible. So the head guy, if you search YouTube for head guy, I think it's uh, high school student explains the fourth dimension. Uh, and that is a long fucking time ago. That video has been done a long time from, but if you keep scrolling, you will find his recent videos, and that one is fucking genius. And everything he says is pretty genius, I would have to say. And so in one of the videos that I watched, um, he says something along the lines of, I'm a spiritualist. I believe we are all one. And so helping as many people as I can becomes a selfish aim, because as I am helping as many people as I can, my life becomes the best it can be. Something like that. Um, thank you for that. I will, it did something to me because I had thought of all of these concepts separately, but I had never put them in the same sentence. And that just changed something for me. And so for the longest of times, I have been um, considering of sharing what I've learned through my trials and tribulations with autoimmune diseases. So nobody here knows me, but so let's start with saying that I started to have autoimmune conditions at the age of 3, more or less. And by the age of 27, I was in a fatal condition with IBS. And throughout my whole life, I had these different conditions that no one ever told me were autoimmune. It just seemed like I've had chronic bronchitis until a certain age. Then I moved countries and that stopped. But I started to have very, very severe allergies, for instance. And let me just check something here real quick. Real quick. I am going to. I'm just trying to. I'm not sure if I have enough space on my phone. So I might need to delete a couple of things. Maybe not. Let's risk it. Okay. Okay, so so I had and then again and then in my mid 20s to late 20s, I had IBS. Like, motherfucker nearly wiped me out of this place. And the good news is that I've cured myself. What it took was nearly dying. What it took was not going to doctors, not asking for medication, not asking for their help. I actually did go to 2 different doctors when the whole shitstorm with IBS started, and I was really like violently ill. I went to 2 doctors. Both of them told me, "You're all right. Nothing's wrong with you." And here's the deal. All of the symptoms I had were the symptoms of IBS. That was my personal research, right? But there's this thing called the mystery disease that mainly women get diagnosed with. That, and if by any reason, like for any reason you didn't know this, autoimmune diseases are prevalent in women. I will not be throwing like percentages right now because I'm not sure, but it's like an overwhelming majority of people that get autoimmune diseases are women. So that being said, the one thing I learned that hopefully will help you, if you've never thought about it this way, to switch gears with the way you treat your disease or your condition or your diagnosis, is this. This is like a compilation of several things that I've learned from different sources. So let's go with it. Let's flow. So number 1, your immune system works sort of like an antivirus on a computer, right? Your immune system is meant to protect you from any external violation. What happens with an autoimmune disease is that your immune system attacks itself as if it was the external harmful element. Let's take external out of this sentence, as if it was the harmful element. And I remember hearing, I think it was Till Swan who mentioned this. She said something like, some people have this tendency of, they've been so abused that their reaction to their own existence a lot of the time is to punish themselves before anyone else can. And this is what I see in things like IBS, like chronic bronchitis, like allergies, right? Like in all of the autoimmune diseases, this is something that there is in common. Your body goes into self-deflation and self-punishment for any number of reasons. Okay, this is, because I didn't prepare this. I don't have like any script. I'm sorry. So I might be wandering around a little bit. I also might just re-record all of this or not even do anything with it. We'll see. But essentially, there's something that makes your body go like, we are wrong. It is wrong for me to exist. Me existing is causing some sort of trouble in the system. Meaning me being who the fuck I am meant to be is harmful. Okay? So I need to hide my shit in order to stay safe. And because it is my own body that is telling me that something that is going on is not in alignment with who I am, and then it self-attacks. Can you just imagine the mindfuck this shit is? So the way I got out of it, when the majority of people will be on medication for their whole life, and I was heavily medicated as a kid. My mother had studied pharmacology, so, and my mother was also a narcissist, and she also, I found out later, she would poison to cure. That's a different conversation. And that was like on the mental, emotional, and physical levels. You know what I mean? I think she also liked to feel like she was providing someone with something, but she felt so useless. She had such a low self-esteem that she had to cause the trouble so that she knew how to fix that trouble because she caused it. Bitch! Anyway, so yeah, okay. So if you take anything, people with chronic autoimmune situations, if there's anything you can get out of this, what I would like for you to get from this thing is that an autoimmune condition is you fighting yourself. Why do you feel like you need to fight yourself? And this takes me to the next story, okay? I'm probably talking mainly to women here, so let's roll with it. And also the men that are listening to this that can identify that have autoimmune conditions, you will still benefit greatly from what I have to say right now, okay? So this is my story. I have been taught from a very tender age by my mother. My mother literally would use words like this. I'm probably going to exaggerate and paraphrase, obviously, but she would say things like, "You're ill. You're essentially useless. You're pie in the sky sort of person. Your head is always up in the clouds. I'm a poet. I'm an artist. I'm a philosopher. Yes, that is who I am, okay?" And so what she would tell me would be, there's no fucking way you can survive without a man. You, bitch, need a man. And because you have all of these horrible things about you, and then also she was brutal with my physical appearance. She would put me down. She would make me feel ugly every single day. Okay? Narcissist. Okay? So her logic was, because you have all of this shit, you gotta grab the first man that happens to hop into your life, make some kids real quick, and hold on to him for your dear life. And the reason I'm talking about this is that for the longest of time, my life revolved around scarcity. Like, I've been homeless for the past 8 years, bitch. Homeless. Because I've been struggling with this thing where, on the one hand, I could clearly understand that what you had told me was not true. On the other hand, the programming running was so deep and so strong that I couldn't fucking figure it out. And every time a motherfucker, like any sort of piece of shit, would break up with me, I would go into such deep recession and such a deep self-loathing and self-hatred that I would completely undermine and destroy my life. On every level. Every level, baby. Okay? Just like an aside note, For those of you who understand anything in astrology, I would suggest you search for Dr. Balasubramaniam. No, I totally fucked it up. I'll link it somewhere. Or just search for Thereus. Just search for asteroid Thereus. That's Thereus. And check which house it's in, because that motherfucker is like the most abusive archetype that I have come across in astrology so far. And I have it in my 10th house of career and reputation in Virgo, the same house where my moon is. And my emotional health has been completely fucked ever since I dropped my intellectual pursuits. Things that actually give me life. Okay? And the only really healthy relationship I figured I actually had in my life with a man, even though we probably would have been much happier just being friends, like really close, great fucking friends, collaborators, right? But so he was like one of the most intelligent and intellectual people I've ever met. And we just jived. I was happy to live with that person. That was the only happy relationship I've had. Everything else, as soon as the enchantment of the body connection was gone, everything else was gone. But the truth is that I've been so indoctrinated to think that I was worthless piece of shit that I would accept any motherfucker that would approach me and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you know? Like my whole intellect just had to go to my ass or something, and I had to seem dumb because that piece of shit was dumb. So I had to play dumb in order for him to accept me. If I would ever show him that I was smart enough to outsmart him, he would never pick me up. Ever. Ever. Bitch, what? So. What else do I want to talk about? For those of you going through autoimmune conditions, things I highly recommend: self-questioning. Devise some good questions, quality questions, right? Research. Like the thing that you need to understand, and this is I don't know who the author, who the original speaker was who said this phrase, but easy is right. The thing that is easy for you is right for you. So if you have to struggle in your life to fit in, you're in a wrong place with the wrong people in the wrong environment. And it's not going to be a feel-good process to begin with. Bitch, trust me, it's not. But what is worse? To live with a condition that is not really a part of you, but became a part of you because you've been taken out of your own path. You've been made to feel unworthy, unnecessary, wrong. Because some bitch didn't do their own fucking inner work. They were not on their journey, not in their environment. And like, I can understand the pain, right? Like, I came to empathize and have a lot more compassion for my mother over years. But I still fucking hate that bitch. She destroyed me. She destroyed 30 years of my life. I'm 33 now, and only in the past 3 years have I been having like anywhere between 5 and 30% of happiness in my time, right? Like in 33 years, I remember 1 year of happiness, which takes me to another topic. The 1 year of happiness that I personally have had was the year where I had a very healthy, supportive community. And within that community, I also had very intimate friends, a few very intimate friends. And then I had a functional community of people that were there for the same reason and supported each other, even though we were so incredibly different from each other. And that being said, what I really want you to understand for yourself is what legit works for you. What is the kind of social structure you would need to like fully embrace yourself? I guess it like naturally will come in increments. Some people are more strategic than others. I can be hyper strategic, but I also draw a lot of inspiration from absolute chaos. Okay, and I strive in chaos a lot of the time also. But I did learn that this idea that a man will come and save you or a woman will come and save you doesn't really matter, because I also see a lot of men, especially men that have had either like lonely mothers, like solid what do you call them? Jesus. Single mothers, or men that have grown up with like abusive fathers, and the mothers were the ones who were closer, but they were also abusive in some sort. So when we're looking for someone to save us, right? To have our back, to be there for us, the need itself is correct. The need is correct, especially if you come from an abusive place. That need is not just legit. It's like you have to meet it. But there was this one thing that blew my fucking mind, and this one also comes from Teal Swan. And it's this video where she talks about the need for a tribe versus the need for a romantic relationship or, one-on-one partnership. And her point is that the social structure of a family that we have nowadays came with settlements. When women were excluded there, remember? Men started to own pieces of land. And then they had to protect that land, right? And they would put plantations, gardens, whatever, on that land, animals. Those were their properties. And then they had to have someone to help them with that and also leave that shit to someone. So they needed to have kids. But then in order to have kids, right, they needed a wife. And they needed for all of that to stay in place. So women were a part of the ownership program. Right? And her point is like, can you imagine if you have a community where all of your fucking needs are met, all of your primary human needs are met, for affection, for being understood, for being seen, being useful, being productive, all of these things. The only thing that binds you to a person of the opposite sex or the same sex or whatever is this idea that family is two people, and then those two people generate more people or adopt more people or whatever, which nothing against adoption. I can see myself adopting in some years. But you see, it's like it's perverted, because what binds those two people is sex. The least reliable of things. Like, your attraction, like, if you're anything like me, your attraction will change Like if I'm with someone, and I might have like had some connections, right? And then there was sex, and then we're thinking that we're in a relationship. What usually happens is, like, if I'm going to a relationship with a person, the sex very rarely has been like off charts, right? It's usually pretty tamed, and I get bored really, really quickly because I am a sexual being. I like crazy sex. I like good sex. I like the power of it, right? I have so much Scorpio in my chart. It's insane. It's almost like abusive. I love it. I love it. I love it more and more, Like I used to really struggle with it because again, I was not meant to be myself. I was not meant to be sexual. I was not meant to be explosive. I was not meant to be intuitive. I was not meant to be a fucking warrior. I was meant to be a tame fucking woman breeding fucking children. And mind you, this is like, I am so pissed because this was not just the society that imposed this on me, the closest person in my life that lived with me my whole childhood into my like teenage years was the person that pressed me the most about this shit. When I was 17 years old, she like low-key told me like, look, the younger you are when you have kids, the less risk and damage there is from giving birth. And I listened to her and I was like, okay. So you want me to be a mom now? I was 16, okay? Like, nah, bitch. She destroyed her life. She had me when she was 23. My dad was 23. They were both dumb as fuck, I would never do that to another human being. Not me. Sorry. So I was smart enough like that, that I'm really proud of myself for not like succumbing to her sick mentality. But so I guess this is all tying into the autoimmune condition story, but the point is you need to understand, you need to see how you have been made feel wrong about who you truly are. I wish I had this book here with me. I don't know, do I have it? Let's check. The book is called Breakfast of Champions, and it's by Kurt Vonnegut. That's Kurt, right? And Vonnegut is VO. Hold on, I'm trying to find the book. VO. I guess it's double N, or it might be, maybe it's just one N. EGUT. Hold up. Where did I leave the book? My God. But he's essentially saying something like, the goal of my life is to go back being the being I was 53 or whatever, how many years ago, when I first came onto this damaged planet, essentially like erase the damage this planet has done to me, Because frankly, the thing with people, if we're really honest about it, is that everybody's fucking insecure as fuck. And everybody's projecting their insecurities onto you as if, their life depended on it. Like, because in a way, like, ego's life depends on it. Because if you crack the ego through to understand that your insecurities are like bugs or like like viruses installed onto your system that are meant to like deter you and suck you dry of your energy in some way. Somehow, the people that have installed the virus are benefiting from it. Whoever has installed the insecurity within you is fucking benefiting from it. Oh my God. Yeah. And as I'm saying this, I'm staring at a picture of a 1-year-old me. I moved someplace and I'm beginning to build my altar, and I've decided I wanted to have pictures of baby me on my altar because this is the only person I want to honor in this whole process. She knew the shit, like she knew. It's funny, I've been going through these pictures trying to, decide which one I want to, essentially choosing pictures to place on the altar. And one thing I noticed, people have always told me I have very penetrating eyes. I'm Scorpio rising, Pluto conjunct ascendant, like Black Moon Lilith in the first house in Scorpio. Anyway, but people have always commented on how my eyes would pop for them and how my eyes would call their attention very strongly, right? And that's the thing. I was looking through the pictures and I could see what they mean. Because when I look in the mirror, like I can understand it, but it's not the same feeling. But when I look in the pictures and I'm 1 year old and I'm 3 years old and I have such an intense stare. And it's like I can see that this kid holds this incredible depth, incredible understanding of the universe. It's just like the whole thing is there. The whole thing is there. And then those fucking insecure adults come into your life. They take you up. And they try to box you in to fit their expectations. I say, fuck them. I say, oh my God. Just accept that disappointing people is inevitable. There's nothing you can do to not disappoint someone else. The only thing you can do to not disappoint someone else is disappoint yourself. And so my question is, why would you ever want to do that? Why would you ever want to choose to disappoint yourself, not to disappoint other people? I say disappoint everyone you have to disappoint to not disappoint yourself. Because as that dude said, right? Doing the highest good is the most selfish thing. You know what is the highest good. Follow that. Because that is the thing that's gonna make you feel really fucking good about yourself and about your life and in your life and in your body and in your mind and in your emotions. Finding the thing that you and only you can provide. That you and only you came here to do. Is the thing. There's no way you can fail in doing that. But as I said before, sorry, I'm outside and it's raining as fuck. But before you get there, chances are you're gonna go through hell, babe. It's very, very. Why is it? What's going on? It's very, very unlikely that you would be able. But then again, who am I to say this shit? I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Newton and the apple falling on his head. maybe just from hearing me say these things, you will come to a conclusion and you will understand and you will improve like miraculously. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to be imposing any limits on it. But the way I have experienced it, the path from the moment where I started to realize that I've been fucked with to where I am now was fucking excruciating. Excruciating. Because I forgot who I was. I forgot what made me feel good. I forgot all of these things, you know? And so going through life was massively painful every single day. And in order to find the things that I had drawn myself so far from, like I had to travel a shit ton through environments and situations and people that meant nothing to me. It was depressing as fuck. I've been depressed and anxious and ill for the past, my whole fucking life. But especially the last 8 years. Because that was when I finished university and I had that super healthy relationship. And then I left that relationship and I came out into the real world, which by the way, the relationship had to finish, you know, like there was no way we could be partners, right? And so I finished college and I went into what they call the real world, right? And I had to find a job and I had to like fit in with the fucking people in those jobs. And I hated all of it. I hated every single moment of it. And what the fuck is life worth when you hate every single moment of it? And then you get like a few hours of feeling like yourself because you found something online or in a book or whatever, you know, like you're reading something you really love, you're watching something, you're like seeing someone doing something that really resonates with you. And what I say is like, pay very, like if you are in this shitstorm mode now, okay, it's still recording. Pay very close attention. Hello, bud. Pay very close attention to the small pockets of bliss you get. Pay very, very close attention to small things that make you feel good in your body. And I mean it, like learn, okay, let's go to real techniques. Learn how to feel your body in different moments. You know? You're at your job and you're bored, notice your body. Just recount it like analytically, like I feel tension in my toes, I feel my belly is like flaccid. I don't know, like you know what's going on with your body. You tell yourself. And do that when you're doing something that really, really feels good, for instance. And then do that when you're watching your favorite show. And then do that, just keep coming back to your body. That's number one. Like the fact that your body is attacking itself is because you've become so separate from it that it has to call your attention somehow, essentially. That's how it goes. When your body really hurts, your body is really trying to get your attention. And again, things that feel good to you, things that feel good in your body, those are major, major green flags. Those are major good signs that you should really rely on, and you should do more of that. And you should be looking towards that to find your answers on how to live your life in accordance and in harmony with yourself. That's the best thing you can do for yourself and your autoimmune and blah, you know? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I hope people will make it this far into this pot, because I know I fucked up a little bit in the beginning because I was not really prepared, but I think those who need to hear it will hear it, hopefully. Um, is there anything else I would like to add? Yeah, I think that's it. It's like the one thing that helps, by the way, like since we've started with practical tools, and there's a lot more, obviously. Like I mean, in the years where I was trying to survive really hard every fucking day, I learned so much stuff. That's the beauty of it, and that's what makes me grateful, because now I feel like I can actually share. I feel like I can be useful because I went through like the deepest, darkest part of this shit, the loneliest part of the shit. Because I haven't mentioned, but like I went through the whole thing alone. No family, no friends, no shit. Why? Because I grew up with a narcissist. My mother was the first one to reject me. And then all of the so-called friends that I had just were like, oh, not my responsibility. Fuck you. Right? Because I was so used to be pleasing and appeasing and serving people that had no interest in seeing me well ever. Do you understand? And I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are in the same situations. Except that probably many of you also still are connected to the toxic family members and still are connected to the toxic friends and all that shit. Because you're taking pills to help you get through the day. So you're like still forcing your body to contend with a shit show it has been put in. And that would be one thing I would really ask you to reconsider. And I don't say like, I'm not saying jump out and be a loner. And for some people, longer process of healing will be more suitable. My thing is like, please do not gaslight yourself. You've been gaslit enough. Please don't gaslight yourself. Like, make it a practice to like meditate, breathe, do yoga, do whatever you do, dance, run, but like to be with yourself in your most honest condition, in your most honest state. I promise you, if you ask your body questions, it answers. Okay? The simplest and the most practical tool I've learned in the past years is this one. You can ask your body a question and see how it reacts, or give it or propose it possibilities, right? Should I go here, or like, what does it feel like in my body if I go here, and what does it feel like in my body if I go there? And what you're looking for is the sensation of expansion or contraction. And what you can do is, before you ask the question, you can ask your body to show you what the sensation of contraction feels like and what the sensation of expansion feels like. And then you apply that same thing with the question that you have. So I'm going to give you like a very silly example, but let's say, should I take my green bag with this outfit, or should I use my purple bag with this outfit? And let's say green feels not great, but purple feels amazing in my body, so I'm gonna go with the purple. And this shit literally works for anything in life, and so being alone is extremely important. Number one, that's when the ideas come, and that's where you can hear them. If you're around people who are noisy all the time, and when I say noisy, I don't necessarily mean verbally or physically. Some people are very noisy in their thoughts and in their nervous system. And if you have an autoimmune condition, chances are you're incredibly sensitive, and you will be picking up on all of that shit. So it's still incredibly noisy and chaotic, even though nobody's talking about anything and nobody's doing anything, But just like give yourself space to be away from noisy, busy situations, places, people, and ask yourself quality questions about your life. Be real with yourself, like have your own best interest at heart. It might even be helpful to like consider yourself, like put yourself outside of yourself. Let me try to explain this. So imagine you are being watched, looked at by someone else outside of you. What does that person see? How do they feel about you? What would they change about you? It's still you, right? It's still your judgment. And the fun part is that nobody knows you better than yourself. Nobody. So nobody can tell you, like, if you've grown up with abusive parents, you will believe that your parents know you better than you. Because they've been having they've had such a strong grip on you for such a long time that you don't, it's not like they know more shit about you. It's just that you've completely cut out your permission to be your own authority. And autoimmune comes a lot with that. Okay? Because it's essentially somebody else's judgment weighing upon you in a way where like you're like, I am bad and I'm gonna be punished, so let me punish myself first. Because if I'm sick and I can prove that I'm ill, then people will see and understand. I've had this was like a major dilemma for the past 8 years because I went undiagnosed. And I went undiagnosed, like, it wasn't just physically, it was like mental, emotional. The whole thing crumbled. I was nearly non-existent, It was like, I was on my last wits all the time, And why was I saying this? Hold on, I got lost. The dilemma that I had was that I wished so many times my injuries were physical. Because the most disappointing thing I heard over and over and over and over during those years was like, you look good. You don't look you don't look ill. And the last time I heard it, when I still had some symptoms and I was talking to a doctor, not on duty, not in a hospital, outside. And I was telling her, what had happened, and she looked at me like with this bitch face, and because I have no other words for it. She looked at me with a bitch face. And she said, "You look fine." And I held myself, and if it were today, I would not have held myself. I would have thrown something in that bitch's face. I swear to God. But so the point is, I understand that when you experience so much pain, it seems easier because people can see. People know that there's a diagnosis, so they sort of accept you a little bit more. But my point is, you're not meant to be in pain to be accepted, babe. You're not. You're meant to be accepted and recognized for the shine in you, for the beauty in you, for the beautiful things that you can accomplish and can be and are here to be. And I really, really, really hope I can inspire someone with this talk. I have no idea if anybody will hear this, This is the first time I'm recording. Well, it's not my first attempt, but this is the first time I'm effectively recording oh wow. Hold on. This is the first time I'm effectively recording a podcast, right? Babe, just if there's anything you can take away from this conversation today is like, just please remember, easy's right. You're meant to feel ease when you're doing something. You're meant to feel in the flow. You're meant to feel inspired. Just like when I found this head guy today and I realized that for the past 8 years, I've spent my time just being around people who are fucking boring to me. Because they don't go any further with their mind. They don't have the interest. And it's not like necessarily there's something wrong with them. They probably have their own thing that I cannot understand because I'm not wired that way. I'm not meant to be wired that way. So I'm not meant to understand. But because I have been cut off of my power, cut off of my love, of my joy, of my belonging, of my worth, I had to accept crumbs from people. And the thing is, like, the people that I have been in relationships with do not know who they are either. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been with me. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fucking wasted their time being with someone who was being untrue to themselves. Because what do they gain except for like a pussy or whatever? I don't know. Oh, what an excitement, you know? Jesus. This is probably the most stupid thing about men to me, honestly. The whole obsession with the pussy is just like, it's so ridiculous to me, but that's a different conversation. That's for another pod. Babe, if you can take away something from this conversation, take life easy. Take the easiest, and when I say the easiest, like, I've been having this dilemma with me about smoking weed. Like, sometimes, you know, I stop and I ask myself, like, am I taking like the easy way out? Am I not looking at... And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with the substance. That's what I realized. I have nothing against weed. What I do have against is living a life that doesn't belong to me. Insisting on trying to live in ways that do not serve me in any way. That's the thing. That's the real thing that'll fuck you up. Not the weed. If you're having like, and this is the truest thing, like of all, I can be super abusive with myself when I'm smoking. You know? Like, I can over smoke so much. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not having fun. I'm just legit just running away. But what I know is I will have all the weed in the world lying around next to me. And I will find this article or a book that really interests me. And I forget that the weed exists. It's not about the weed. It's not about the substance. You know? The same way it's not about the medication. You don't feel shitty because you didn't take your medication. You feel shitty because you're out of your body. You're out of your life. Somebody else is like ruling your life. You're not living it. You're not even inhabiting your body fully. Have you ever noticed, like, when you feel really inspired, how does your body feel? You feel entirely in it. You're like, yeah, bitch. I can climb a mountain now, you know? Like, I can do anything. This body belongs to me. But when you're ill, you're dispossessing of your body somehow. Your body doesn't belong to you anymore. You don't have control over it. Right? Anyway, I'm going to cut it here. I'm still looking for the fucking book. I really wanted to like read that paragraph properly because I love it so much. I love this book so much. I even tattooed a little piece of it on me. But I can't seem to find it. Why? Did someone take it? Did I misplace it? Did I put it somewhere? Anyway, I'm very confused. Wherever I'm gonna post this, I guess I'll just like include the little quotes. I love y'all. I really hope that this will serve someone. I really, really, truly hope that if this finds someone, it'll change your life for the better. It'll change your relationship with yourself for the better. It'll inspire you to look forward, you know, into your life and to see how fucking beautiful and magnificent you are. Like this is my personal, in this moment, this is my personal dream. Like this is my personal fantasy, is that every person who is chronically ill, well, not specially, but like in this case, what I'm talking about is autoimmune diseases, right? But like every person who is somehow dispossessed of their own spirit may find that spirit and learn just how fucking potent and powerful and beautiful and incredible they are. Just really, truly learn their worth so that they can, so that they can know who they're really connected to. It's so insane when you start to realize that this is so much bigger than what a small, strict, rational fucking mind, you know, the patriarchal, patriarchal right brain. Is it right brain? Is it left brain? I confuse all the time. I think, but like the rational brain, anyway, can conceive of. It's just, I mean, honestly, the rational brain, like that saying, I heard it from Ram Dass, but it's a quote from someone. The rational mind is a great servant and a lousy master. And we've lived in a world that's been created by a lousy fucking master, you know? Lousy, lousy, lousy. Because we forgot how to hear the God inside ourselves, you know? And I don't mean God here in religious terms. I think Jesus was a great guy, you know? He really embodied the thing. But when I say God, it's like the creative force, the living, breathing thing inside of each and every one of us, inside of everything. Every cell, every star, every fucking everything. We are part of this incredibly gigantic thing. So whenever you feel pressed by your family, by your mom, by your dad, by your aunt, by your uncle, by whoever it is that's pressing you in life, really remember this. Like, ask your body, where are they coming from? Are they coming from the tiny, teeny fucking rational brain? Or are they coming from their God self? And ask yourself the same question every time you do something. Every time you take a decision. Every time you're battling with something. Every time you feel humiliated by someone. Ask your body where they're coming from, where you're coming from, and you will know. And that will hopefully facilitate the whole process for you. Okay, I love you. I'm gonna go. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And if I can answer, I will. I hope you have an inspired week or weekend, or I'm not sure, is it weekend? It's almost weekend. Yeah, much love. And I really, really do hope this helps someone. Because as I said in the beginning, thank you, Hat Guy, my biggest crush in over 10 years. Internet crush, anyway. Probably my biggest crush in the past 10 years. I'm not gonna lie. But as he said, right, we're one. So me helping the biggest number possible is the most selfish thing I can do, because that helps me, that makes my life better. And I really hope you'll take away something from here that'll help you in your life, help you improve your life, help you feel better, just help you love yourself more. I love you. Have a blessed night, morning, day, wherever you are. Be gentle with yourself, be kind, and loving yourself more. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.